It is Thursday, September 19th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. Yeah, we're back together. It's the Warehouse Games. It's our fourth and final franchise event. It is Blitzball Battle 5. And all I can tell you is, folks, strap up.
Yes.
It's
been a wild ride, especially today.
Yeah, there have been some crazy things happening. We can't wait for everybody to see what's transpiring. Once again, today's episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. They give you shots that help you feel alert and energized. Why? Because each shot is packed with vitamins, nutrients, and about as much caffeine as the leading premium coffee. It also contains 0 sugar. So you'll drink it in seconds, you're going to feel it in minutes, and it will last for hours. It's available in a wide range of great flavors across regular strength and extra strength varieties. 5hourenergy.com. Use the code JOHNBOY to save 20% on your first order. That is the number 5. hourenergy.com. Code JOHNBOY. Save 20% today. Start off with a tip of the cap to the Chicago White Sox. I get it. It's been a struggle bus of a season, but they haven't lost their sense of humor. After falling to the Halos in 13 innings on Wednesday, Chicago White Sox team account tweeted out, quote, "Final. The other team scored more runs than us." Made me laugh.
That's what made you laugh?
Well, come on. In that tough a season, made me chuckle.
You got to hand it to the admins. They're taking care of that social. It's been tough for them, no doubt. Every single time they post, I'm sure they're just getting crushed.
Hang in there, kiddies. That's all I can say.
Hey, great article by Britt Garali of The Athletic talking about the White Sox franchise and what's happened.
Yeah, the losing atmosphere, what it's like to go to work every day when you are caught in this cesspool. Great job, Britt,
She should have interviewed me. It's a lot of losing teams.
If
not
we were
like
talking,
the White Sox, but
yeah. No, you weren't on.
I lost 100 plus games one year.
Yeah, and that sucks.
Tough.
Ooh. All right, let's get to some winning squads, like the team that won the National League Central yet again.
And a base hit into right. That's your ball game. Jake Bowers, a walk-off single. And the night the Brewers clinch the National League Central, they walk off the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-1 the final score.
We said early in the year in spring training, we knew nobody believed in us except ourselves, and we kept that to ourselves. We knew we were all capable, so while some people may be surprised, I don't think we are.
How much fun is this?
I mean, you can't beat it. It's the best. It's the best.
That the tones of Sal Frelick of the Milwaukee Brewers. And by the way, I hate it when they use the cliche, well, nobody believed in us, but I actually think it's accurate here. I really do.
Well, look, I love that too. I'm happy they defied the odds, but did they really think they were going to win the NL Central? That's what I really want to get into his soul, because look, so many things happened, Chris.
Right.
Before the season. Trade Corbin Burns.
Lose your manager.
Woodruff goes down. So many things happen. A completely different cast of characters. You got Churrillo, who's supposed to be your guy. You don't know about him. First of all, he starts off the season very poorly. I'm going to answer a question here. I'm going to kind of go back on what I'm saying now, but I think I don't know. Did they really believe in themselves at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think if you were to give truth serum to a lot of ball players, they might give you the lip service of, listen, it's our goal to win the World Series.
We're going to have to play, do all these things,
right.
Which they did.
Yeah, they did. And
I'm happy for them. It's awesome.
And it's been their division pretty much since the get-go. It felt like they were never pushed by any of the other 4 teams. Maybe they got a little close at some point, but they've just been coasting. It's the first time in back-to-back years they've won the division title since 81 and 82. What has surprised you most about this team?
I mean, they've been able to overcome, I think starting or just pitching issues. They've used 17 different starters. 12 different guys have got saves for them. So to overcome that and to, be one of the better pitching teams in baseball, having to use that many people, I think that's surprising. The Twins are going through that right now. They're not getting the same results. I'm also surprised that they were able to, I think, and we need to check this, I don't think they've lost more than 3 in a row all year.
Wow.
So when you're able to do that, I mean, that's how you rack up wins. 88 and 64 right now. They clinched. I think that's very impressive. But they've just overcome adversity all year long. Christian Yelich goes out. Devin Williams wasn't even here the first half. Like, they've just overcome so much talked about them losing Corbin Burns prior to the season. I don't know. Everyone, when they talk about their team, they always reference Pat Murphy giving them an edge and them playing for it. I think one interesting thing with this team is the only person that's like really like paid is Yelly.
That's it.
Everybody else is still, I know you're playing to win the title, your Central Division title, you're playing to win the World Series, but you're also like, you want to perform because you want to get paid. And I think sometimes when you have that, like a collection of guys still playing for that, it helps with that feistiness, that you're going to continue to battle every single day. So many things have impressed me. But I think to answer the question, my number one thing is being able to use that many pitchers and still be as successful as they've been.
I think it's actually using the entire roster. They have 9 regulars with a WAR of at least 2. Okay, by comparison, you might say, "Oh, well, what's the big deal? A 2-WAR player." By comparison, the New York Yankees, whom we will talk about momentarily, only have 4. Oof. Only 4 guys. So while you got guys like Contreras and Adames and Churio who are expected to kind of carry the mail at the plate, you've got guys like Frelick and Terang who steal bases, play great defense, and fill roles to the point that makes them a bona fide major leaguer that contributes every day in some way, right? You can go 0 for 4 in this game and still have a major contribution for a winning team. So I think that's kind of surprised me. Most of the guys have been able to fill in exactly what they are.
That's something that a manager can do to guys. And I think what's happened here with Murphy and the Brewers is telling them, hey, you're not going to be good at everything. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be the guy that's a 5-tool, power, average, everything. Be you, be yourself. Do what you do well. And everybody, if we do that together, will be one cohesive winning team. And that's what we've seen so far.
All right, we're going to move over to the other league, and we had a second team that clinched a playoff berth late, actually into the wee hours, AM-wise, at least on the East Coast on Thursday morning.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Yankees win 2-1, and they're going to the postseason. The New York Yankees are going to the postseason for the 59th time in their illustrious history. They'll be playing serious baseball in October.
Toss lived up to my expectations, man. I mean, I love being a Yankee. These guys are making it great, and we're going to go win a World Series.
That's Jazz Chisholm calling his shot right now. You like that part or no?
I mean, to go from the Marlins to that, it's got to feel good. I want to pop champagne like ASAP.
So bad.
Okay. I don't know if I'll ever get another chance.
You might in the warehouse.
Warehouse is my chance.
That is your chance.
It's not really the same thing.
Stop that. Bite your tongue. Are the Yankees going into the postseason as the team to beat?
No. Like, are you asking me, are they the best team in baseball? That's essentially the question, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think obviously they're one of them, and they have...
Who's better?
We've done this on the show, Chris. I think I would go maybe 3 or 4 National League teams before I'd pick an American League team. I really, just the way these teams are playing out, the way the Padres are playing right now, I think they have to be in consideration for one of the best teams in baseball. I think the Phillies have been my pick throughout the year. I don't think any of that has changed for them. And then I have to decide, do I pick the Brewers, who I think do everything right and can really spoil any kind of baseball? They can play spoiler and just win series. Do I pick them before the Yankees? I'm not so sure. I think definitely right now I would pick the Padres and the Phillies before I'd pick the Yankees. That's not really shots fired at the Yankees. I think these are 2 very, very good baseball teams. I think the Yankees, have what it takes to win the World Series. Really, I think their starting pitching can be really, really, really good.
Yep.
And then obviously their offense has been one of the best in baseball. Combining what they've done, finding Gleyber Torres at the leadoff spot, and then Austin Wells has been great in that 4-hole. So they have what it takes. I would have picked them in front of those 2 teams.
But you would pick them out of the American League bunch.
Yeah, I think they would be my number 1 team out of the American League, but I think they're not too far from the Astros. I think you could really talk about those 2 teams and say, which one would you pick? I mean, I think the Astros postseason prowess might even leapfrog them for me.
Wow. I think the Yankees are in a really, really good spot. Obviously, the whole Clay Holmes situation left them with a lot of questions. They had good arms in the back of the pen, but they are guys that haven't done it on a consistent basis in crunch time in September and certainly not in October. They've answered the bell beautifully here in the closing weeks of September. I'm curious to see how it goes in October, but I think one thing that's really going to help them is the fact that their starting pitching is so deep that some of those starters are going to be able to transition to bullpen roles. And that's critical in the month of October because you just don't need guys to go 6 or 7 innings.
Who's their starting 3? Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon.
Yeah. Louis, it's maybe Heel, depending on how you feel about his innings. Stroman has been, I don't want to say banished to the bullpen because I think they feel like that's a critical role, and he came out the other day and got a 3-inning save. Clark Schmidt.
I'm just curious, who is Heel the guy that's going to take the ball in Game 3?
I don't know. Nestor Cortez has thrown the ball great.
Heel seems like the guy that you really could put a fire out anywhere in the game. He's got that type of stuff. He does walk guys. I get that, but he's got that electric stuff.
But that's my point.
I am in on the Yankees. I'm not out on the Yankees.
I get it. I do think that they are the team to beat definitively in the American League.
Okay.
And I will listen to conversations about the Phillies and Padres. I think that you could make an argument for all 3 of those teams, and I would listen. But I do think that the Yankees are right up there. I really do.
Okay.
That's what I think. All right, so Plouffe and I are both traveling, obviously from the West Coast to the East Coast. And, we face the same issues. Never know what to pack too much, don't pack enough, checking a suitcase, not checking a suitcase. And then you go into your hygiene products. I mean, Trevor's always got to look great and smell amazing. Do you bring the tiny shampoo? What about your face wash? What about your body wash? What about all that sort of stuff?
I have no idea where this is going.
Well, here's where it's going. Okay. I want you to simplify travel with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It is a 5-ounce bar that does the work of shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. You can use it to create a rich shaving lather as well. So technically, it's 5-in-1 if you want to do that. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's formulated with gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at its source. When you're hanging out in a place like the warehouse all day and the temperatures are rising, that's something you need. So simplify your hygiene routine, and it's the only thing you really need to pack. It's available in 4 cologne quality scents as well: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and Cloverwoods. Okay. So Mando's starter pack, it's perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping as well. Luckily, we have a discount code to help you get hooked on our favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with the exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack. So use the code baseball today at shopmando.com. That is shopmando.com.
Let's go.
Yeah. We continue on. Mention the San Diego Padres. They win another series, so they keep the pressure on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West. Dylan Cease, he worked into the 9th inning, was great again, and he got a ton of offensive help in the 8th.
And he drives one to deep left field. Back goes Alvarez. Padres go back to back to back. Mando, Manny, and now Donnie Barrels.
So good. So good.
Donnie Barrels. That is a great nickname. Dude.
It's a great nickname.
How big would your ego be if you were walking around called Trevi Barrels?
I barely have an ego, so it'd just come to normal size.
It'd be an adjustment for you. It'd be an adjustment for you. All right, let's assume that the Phillies are the National League favorite.
Sure.
Padres, their toughest possible opponent?
I think so. I mean, I just answered that question with the Yankees, who I thought, are the top teams. They have a little bit of everything. For me, they have obviously Luis Arias, contact-oriented, really can spoil pitches, and I think that's really important in the postseason, make guys work a little bit. And then you have how many? I feel like we've seen them go back to back to back a lot, or is that just throughout the league? It's been happening a lot.
It has happened a lot lately, right?
Yeah,
the Dodgers have done it a couple of times lately. I believe the Padres, this is the second time they've done it, or something.
Did the Yankees
recent?
just do it too? I don't know. They can thump you. They can wear you out with good at bats. They like to move runners. They'll play small ball if they have to. They can move guys around. To me, have one of, if not the most complete roster. So yeah, because they can win games in a bunch of different ways, and that's when I'm thinking about postseason teams and where I'd rank them. I think that's kind of where I go is, can they beat you in different ways? Or is it just long balls? Is it just pitching? And with the Padres, you can't just put one definition on them. Dylan Cease can go throw a shutout, but they can also, throw a guy 4 innings and have their bullpen come in and shut you out. I mentioned what they can do offensively. Yes, so to answer your question, I do think that's the Phillies' biggest competition, and they might be anybody's biggest competition in the playoffs.
I think that if the Phillies and the Padres play for the second time in the last 3 postseasons, depending how everybody's feeling, I think I might go Padres. 2 months ago, I don't think I could have gotten there based on their starting pitching. We didn't know if Joe Musgrove was coming back. We didn't know if Yu Darvish was coming back.
Yeah.
Musgrove has come back, and he has pitched phenomenally well. In 7 starts, he's had 1 crappy one. Other than that, he's been great. He's back to striking out some dudes as well. You got Cease, you've got King. Yu Darvish is back. He made 3 starts. His most recent one, exceptional. 6 shutout innings, so he's trending up. Martin Perez has come over.
It's been great.
Nobody really mentioned him at the trade deadline, and he has been great. So once again, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to move to some sort of bullpen role. They're going to have a second starter. I don't think they're going to end up winning the National League West, which means that they're going to have to play in that wild card round. Yeah. You can only start 3 guys. Somebody's moving to the bullpen, and it's going to come out of there.
Maybe they'll have to start 2 guys.
Possibly, right? Yeah. Possibly. But then the bullpen itself has improved significantly with a couple of trades. At the deadline. Tanner Scott has been very good, and he hasn't even been as good as Hoeing, right? He's got an ERA over 1 since coming over. So, and their offense, now that Machado is back to being Machado and that Tatis is back.
Yes.
And really back. I mean, if I did power rankings right now and I put them 1, I wouldn't feel bad about it.
I don't know if I'm there in 1. I definitely like this team, and they've shown the ability to come back from games late and close. Jackson Merrill's been that guy for him as well. They kind of have it all, Chris.
They sure do. And they have the best announcer when something exciting happens.
Yes.
I love listening to that.
Do we have Ha-Seong Kim updates?
I haven't seen one lately. I haven't done a deep dive on him as of late.
Dan, will you look that up for us, please?
Because that is a big one defensively.
I saw
Bogaerts kick the ball the other day, and I know that they don't love that.
There was a Ha-Seong Kim shirt in our office.
Oh.
And I was going to take it, but it was too small for me. Oh. I need to order one.
Yeah, well, you're just such a manly man.
He's throwing right now, and they're evaluating.
They're evaluating?
Yeah, he's throwing.
He's throwing, okay, but they're evaluating. Okay, over to the AL wildcard. In a word, snug. Royals couldn't take care of business at home against the Detroit Tigers. In the meantime, this happened in Cleveland.
Guy lets it fly, and the pitch swung and bounced over the head of Santana. Base hit right field. A walk-off win for Cleveland. Ball game from the corner. And the Guardians deal the Twins another gut punch.
Don Orsillo might be the guy on TV. Tom Hamilton, the legend in Cleveland on radio. That was your guy, Brian Rocchio, with the game winner.
It's always Brian Rocchio.
Yeah, it's always Brian Rocchio.
It's always Brian Rocchio.
So that means your Twins' lead for that final wild card is now down to a half game.
Yes.
Earlier this week, when Katie Wu was on, we talked about why the Tigers are in this spot. Now I want to flip the script and ask you, Mr. Twins expert, why are the Twins in this spot?
There's a lot of different reasons, Chris.
So give me the abbreviated version.
So I really think that it's the pitching. And the offense has been cold as well, and that hasn't been helped by Correa and Buxton being out. Although Correa had a good game. He didn't hit the ball very hard, but he had a good game last night. Drove in all 4 runs. But you have 2 established starting pitchers, and then you have 3 rookies in the rotation who are at innings that they've never pitched before. They've been very up and down. They've had some good starts, but mostly it's been a mixed bag. So if you have 3 of those guys, your bullpen's going to start to get tested. Bullpen depth specifically is going to get tested, and they don't have that right now. Coming into the season, they were supposed to have guys like Brock Stewart and Justin Topa and Funderburk and all these guys who were just out, and they're not coming back. So it's put stress on the quote-unquote good guys. Duran, Jax, Cole Sands has worked his way into their Alcala, and they don't have enough back there. And they didn't make any meaningful trade deadline acquisitions. Trevor Richards came and went, already gone. It's just that's it to me. They have to slug and outslug and keep scoring runs. They don't have the offense to do that right now.
Which surprises me because I thought the advantage that they had over the Royals and the Guardians when the Tigers weren't even a part of the equation was the fact that their lineup could play a little bit of bully ball if they needed to. But
could if healthy.
Right, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because you said, well, the Twins are kind of running out of starting pitching. And I don't mean to, like, beat my chest or anything, but the Cleveland Guardians have one guy in their rotation whom, when they went to camp in February, was supposed to be in the rotation, in Tanner Bybee. And that is it. I mean, they brought guys off the scrap heap, right? Alex Cobb had not thrown a pitch. Yep. He comes over, pitches well, and now he's back on the injured list. Matthew Boyd, like, people didn't even know he was still interested in playing baseball, and he's making critical starts for them.
I faced Matthew Boyd back in the day. That's how old he is.
So let me ask you, what is the difference? Is it strictly that the Guardians can afford to play like a 5-inning game and then turn it over to that monster bullpen, and the Twins bullpen just doesn't stack up, even though they had some good guys?
They don't have enough depth, and they don't use them. Like, they won't go back-to-back days. They won't go multi-inning. So it really puts a limit on what you can do with the guys, especially the guys.
But why is that? Is it an organizational philosophy?
I'm not really sure. Last night they brought in Ronnie Henriquez.
Yes. But they were in extra innings, so at that point you're kind of screwed.
They have Cole Sands. They have a guy there to shut the game down who's been very good. And I believe he should have been available, but after the game they said he was down, and I don't know why. I'm not like... What are you saving yourself for at this point in the season?
Okay, in fairness, though, and you know this having been on teams and me having covered it for several decades, is that is the most tenuous part of your ball club. When you get to August, these guys can barely lift their arms. Some days they don't feel right, and they can't help your team. Now, I'm not saying that was a situation. Go ahead.
You guys, the Cleveland Guardians,
I know. We have like 4 guys.
6 dudes that have appeared in 60 or more games. The Twins have
6?
Yes, the Twins have 1.
That's incredible.
They won't do it. And I don't understand why. I don't want to hurt anybody.
No, of course you don't.
But there are times where you got to go. You got to go. And you got to build yourself up. So whether that's a training thing, whatever it is, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
That's the issue, though, Chris. Depth.
Just give me a yes or no. Are they going to hang on?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I've been saying that they're gonna be okay. They're gonna sneak in, and they just keep losing and losing and losing.
I will tell you this, as a Guardians fan, if Detroit gets in there and Skubal's thrown in your series, I'd be scared.
Yeah, it's 1-0.
I would be scared.
Yeah,
because they can make you panic in a hurry.
I believe the Twins have had Tonkin, released him, and now have signed him back.
Yeah, he pitched last night.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of what we're working with there in the back end of the bullpen is guys. The Cleveland Guardians have done a phenomenal job finding guys and turning them into really good pitchers that Twins really have not.
MOVA globes. They make rotating globes that are constantly in motion and powered by ambient light. It's the coolest thing. I'll sit down in my office at home, and my little Guardians globe is just spinning, and it's so therapeutic. I just stare at it, and like the world just gets back to a balanced place for me because it's got hidden magnets that provide movement, so there's no batteries, no messy cords. It's available in over 40 designs that includes every Major League Baseball team. It's got world maps, outer space, famous artwork if you're into that. And as an official MLB partner, MOVA is proud to present this unique baseball memorabilia. It's perfect for both classic baseball collectible enthusiasts and devoted fans as well. Once again, all 30 teams are available. It used to be not that way. Now it is. And enjoy 10% off all officially licensed MLB MOVA globes when you use the code BT10. That is BT10. Go order your globes now with the link in the description. You'll buy it. You'll put it somewhere in your house. You will stare at it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you will stare at it, and you will feel a little bit better about your life. MOVA globes. All right, no change in the National League wildcard standings. Mets remain 2 up on the Atlanta Braves. Both those teams won. And look who is making a name for himself in Queens.
Acuna flies one to deep left. One goes back near the wall. It's out of here. Luis Angel Acuna homers for the second straight night.
So by the end of the season, Ronald Acuna's younger brother is going to have a whopping maybe 15 games of Major League experience. He's been on the 40-man all season long, which does make him postseason eligible. Would you have any hesitation putting him on your playoff roster should the Mets punch their ticket?
Not one bit of hesitation, because there's so many roles that he could fill. Let's just say Lindor is back doing his thing. He can play. I'm talking about Acuna now. He can play shortstop. He can play second base. He can play outfield. But the main thing that's a no-brainer for me, look, he's doing great. He's performing offensively, doing all these things. You could use him as a pinch runner, and it's a no-brainer. He's got 40 swipes in Syracuse this year. So just for that alone, I would have him on the roster, and the defensive versatility. I have no problem. He doesn't look like he's panicked or anything like that. He looks very poised when he's at the plate. I like the numbers. The offensive numbers are nice to see some results. But even without that, I think he's a guy that you could have on the roster because he has a skill set. You're either fast or you're not. And to have a guy that can come and steal you a base in the playoffs is huge. So I'd have him on the roster.
Or score from first on a double.
Yeah, pinch run late in the games, 100%.
Yeah, it's the positional versatility that seals it for me, right? Listen, there's a possibility he could get into the playoffs and look severely overmatched. When they do such a deep dive on you as far as getting ready and scouting reports, he could look foolish. That doesn't matter to me. And I also think that for his future, it would be amazing for him to have that experience, win or lose.
30 games in Syracuse this year at second, 31 in center field, 70 at shortstop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can move all over the middle of the diamond, which is very, very important.
All right, let's finish this up with a couple of quick hitters. Craig Kimbrell DFA'd by the Baltimore Orioles. Shocking or not?
No, the numbers have been so bad. It's not shocking. And they have to make the tough decisions now where they're at, how they've been playing lately. They have to, I don't mean to call him dead weight, but it's kind of been that way.
Yes or no? Does a contender pick him up?
The Twins, I'd take him. I don't know. I would take him on our team. Are the Twins a contender?
Yes, they are currently in the playoffs.
I would take him. I don't know if they do. What is he? How much money is he making? Because the Twins won't add.
Yeah, but I mean you're talking about 2 weeks worth of salary. I think he made $13 million or $11 million or something.
I don't know. I think the Twins might be the only one that consider it. How about that?
Okay. The last thing, for the second straight night up in Seattle, we had a major base running blunder. It was Victor Robles trying to steal home the other night, and now this time it's our guy Julio. He's dodging the bat at third base in a one-run game. Runners at the corners, and he gets tagged out on a back pick when he tried to avoid the bat. What are we doing, Mariners?
Yeah, I hang this one more on a Resurrena because I've never once in my lifetime thrown a bat from swinging it. I know there are some guys that do it, just like there are some guys who have long swings and hit the catcher, but you got to figure that out, dude. So I honestly don't fault Julio. He's getting out of the way of the bat. Obviously, he forgets that the ball is still in play. That's why he was off so far. He started walking away from the bag. But I guess...
well, isn't that the bigger issue, that he forgot? Nobody's going to begrudge him if he's trying to avoid a piece of lumber flying at him.
I think he still would have been out even without walking. He was off the base enough, trying to get a secondary lead there. Then all of a sudden the bat comes your way, and you don't know how you're going to react when something like that happens. To me, the bigger issue is just keep your hands on the bat when you're swinging it. Like, come on, there's pine tar. Do whatever you got to do.
I mean, they could have been within 2 games of the Twins if they had come back and won.
It looks horrible.
It
looks horrible.
Because you're compounding it on what we saw the night before.
Yes.
Like, you cannot make 2 worse, more head-scratching plays. That was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. All right. Boy, it's fun doing our shows together. I like it. I like it. It's always a good time. We'll get to do one more on Friday. So for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Friday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy.